Today we are going to talk in depth about a quite weighty, even a bit provocative point of view, that is, the Republic of China, which some people say does not actually exist.
Well, this statement is really impactful.
Yeah, it sounds very different, doesn't it? Well, we have it. There are some materials, including the analysis of some historical events. There are also legal statements of specific groups. I want to try to help you clarify how this claim came about.
Yes, this time we just want to help you sort out these different angles. The point is not to judge who is right and who is wrong, but to understand why there is such a voice coming out of the historical context behind him. Or what is the legal basis? We will try our best to present the arguments in the data objectively.
That's right. Okay, let's take a good look at this topic. Why on earth does anyone put forward that there is no such statement in the Republic of China? Let's look at it from history first. There is one point. You may find it a little surprised to say it.
Oh, what is it?
One of the earliest sources of this statement may come from Chiang Kai-shek himself.
Chiang Kai-shek.
Yes, it was mentioned in the information very early. In 1950, he talked about our Republic of China at an internal meeting. Passed away. Of course, his context at that time was to inspire the people below to counterattack and restore the country or something. But this sentence itself actually reveals a certain feeling of reality.
This really reflects the difficult situation after the nationalist government lost the right to govern Chinese mainland in 1949, although they later moved to Taiwan province and then used very high-pressure means such as martial law in the following decades to maintain the legal system of the Republic of China.
Yes, that barrel.
Yes, is it his orthodox continuity at the constitutional level? However, there is a huge gap between this declared jurisprudence and the fact that it only rules Taiwan, Penghu, Jinma, and the reality. Well, this gap is one of the roots of many questioning voices later. And what is quite interesting here is that this state of disconnection between the barrel and reality has actually lasted for a very, very long time.
Discouragement lasted few years, then an external environment shift occurred. In 1971, the UN General Assembly passed Resolution 2758.
Ah, yes, a very important event.
Recognizing that the Beijing government is the legal representative of China, and then the representative of the Republic of China withdraws from the United Nations, this impact should be super big.
A pivotal moment. All the materials we have seen point out that this incident directly makes the Republic of China's international status. Well, it can be said that it is a rapid decline. Well, most countries have broken off diplomatic relations with it one after another and are no longer members. It is a sovereign country, so for many observers, this is almost equivalent to the brand of the Republic of China on the international stage. Well, actually disappeared.
Vanished.
Slowly becomes a political symbol that seems to be mainly used within Taiwan province.
This change in international reality later seems to have caused more direct doubts in Taiwan province. The representative figure may be former President Lee Teng-hui.
Yes, to former President Lee.
In 2003, she publicly said that the Republic of China had long since ceased to exist.
This sentence was startling at the time.
Yes, he also advocated that it should be proved to be changed to Taiwan province. He has a famous painting that is widely circulated saying where the Republic of China is, but no one knows at all. Because I couldn't find that place at all as soon as these words came out. Wow, it was really a monstrous wolf at that time. And then the next point is even more worth playing.
Lee Teng-hui's statement is generally regarded as well, echoing the rising local consciousness in Taiwan. He used his identity as the President of the Republic of China to directly challenge the realistic foundation of the existence of this country name.
The information mentions a strong disagreement from the reunification faction. But at the same time, it also gets the support of a lot of local factions. In the eyes of the local faction, Lee Teng-hui seems to be brave enough to break through the dilemma of national subjugation that even Chiang Kai-shek may have privately admitted back then. Well, but the difference is, Lee Teng-hui, what he chose is good, so let's face this reality, and then seek to use Taiwan province as the theme to take a new path.
So if you look at it in this context, part of the reason why this idea does not exist in the Republic of China can be said to be due to the change of political reality, the slow loss of international recognition, and the rise of Taiwan province's local identity.
It can be said that there is a view in the understanding materials, that is, the Republic of China in Taiwan province after 1949 is compared to a kind of exile.
Like Dalai, the government is a bit like the government of Dalai Lama in India. That is to say, although it is actually operating, the scope of sovereignty it claims to represent, for example, the whole Chinese mainland, has been out of touch with reality.
Understand that in addition to this view from the perspective of political and historical reality, it seems that there is another voice from a non-governmental organization called TCG, who puts forward a set of very different arguments about their international law and historical treaties.
Yes, TCG, the core of their argument is mainly based on several key legal documents dealing with the Japanese issue after World War II, well, especially the old Golden Fan Peace Treaty before 1951.
The San Francisco contract.
The facade of this contract stipulates that Japan will give up all rights and claims to Penghu, Taiwan. But the most critical point lies here. The treaty itself, it doesn't specify who these territories are to be handed over.
Oh, I didn't write it.
Yes, it's not stated. What's more noteworthy is that neither the Republic of China at that time nor the later People's Republic of China were signatories to this contract, nor were they signatories to this contract. From the perspective of international law, if territorial sovereignty is to be transferred, the treaty usually needs to clearly designate the recipient. Well, this became a core legal argument in the so-called Taiwan status theory.
Oh, so TCG grasps this point and thinks that the Republic of China has never obtained the sovereignty of Taiwan province through a legal international treaty procedure.
Indeed. They claim the Republic of China came to Taiwan province because after World War II ended, General MacArthur authorized Chiang Kai-shek's army to accept Japanese army's surrender on Taiwan province on behalf of the Allied forces.
Allied forces.
And put into a temporary military administration.
TCG thinks this is purely a military occupation arrangement.
Not equal to the transfer of sovereignty.
Doesn't equal transfer of sovereignty.
They cite the US government's official position that Taiwan's status was undetermined, supporting their argument. Thus, TCG views the Republic of China as lacking legal sovereignty, akin to an exiled proxy regime.
Wow, this power has gone one step further. They even believe that the root of Taiwan province's sovereignty is actually on the Japanese side, but that this sovereignty was put on hold after World War II. So legally, Taiwan province is still in an undecided state under the occupation of an American military government, that is, USMG.
Yes, this is a very special and possibly controversial point in the TCG discussion. Well, that's based on such an understanding. They think that the people of Taiwan province actually don't have the right foundation to build their own country because the source of sovereignty is not here.
Oh, so...
With the goal they are pursuing, it is not to establish an independent Taiwan Republic.
Not an independent state.
On the contrary, I hope that the United States can formally and fulfill their so-called occupation responsibility and then help to set up their conceived Taiwan Province People's Government. The final state may be more like the overseas territory or trusteeship of the United States. Well, so you see, it involves the future of Taiwan here. In fact, there are several completely different imaginary paths.
It sounds, these two voices denying the Republic of China seem to point to the lack of sufficient party nature in his rule in Taiwan.
That's the point.
But the reasons behind them and the ultimate goal they pursue can be said to be very different, even opposite.
Yes, if we want to find common ground, it is probably that both of them challenge actual existence in Taiwan province and its legitimacy from different angles. The former is like Lee Teng-hui, which is based on political reality, such as the loss of territory, the loss of international recognition of the rise of local consciousness, etc. For the latter, the TCG focuses on legal documents, especially the interpretation of the San Francisco contract. Both of them deny Beijing's sovereignty over Taiwan, which is quite consistent.
Contradiction.
The contradiction is very obvious, mainly in the ultimate goal. You see, Lee Teng-hui and the local faction denied in order to change the new signboard of Taiwan, be the masters of their own affairs, right?
Establish a subjective Taiwan state.
Yes, but TCG and the others deny, but it is not for Taiwan's independence. Instead, they think that the ownership of this land, Taiwan, is not there at all, in the hands of the people above, Wow, they think that they have to go back to the international legal order after World War II to decide who is the legal administrator. This idea is very, very different from the former.
So you see, there is no such saying in the Republic of China. Wow, behind it, it really involves Taiwan's extremely complicated historical heritage, the ever-changing political reality, and various interpretations of international law.
Indeed.
Look at the data, whether it's a comparison from Chiang Kai-shek's era, an internal sigh, or a more open challenge from Lee Teng-hui later, or even a quite unique legal argument like TCG. Well, in fact, they all reflect that there is a profound gap between the historical symbol of the Republic of China and the reality it is now in Taiwan. And it seems that it is difficult to ignore.
Poor. Indeed, this country name, well, maybe, it is still printed on our passport and written in the Constitution. However, the sources generally emphasize that in today's international reality and some key legal documents, it seems that it is difficult to help him find a very clear and uncontroversial position. Well, he feels more like a legacy of history.
A legacy.
To a historical relic, rather than a living, contemporary sovereign entity that is universally recognized.
Finally, I want to leave you with a point to think about. Well, this is also an extension from the materials we have read. Well, that is to say, if the symbol of the Republic of China is for some people, it has indeed become an illusory projection of history or an undecided state in law, eh?
For the people living in this land, how can we build a future identity that can not only unite our internal consensus, but also be accepted by the international community?
This is indeed a big house.
Yes, I'm afraid this is the core topic that all these seemingly divergent discussions finally point to.
A problem that needs to be constantly thought and faced.
That's right. Okay, then let's stop here today.
Thank you for listening and look forward to seeing you next time.